Hello friends! Today we're going to talk about the minigame Wintertodt. Now, I really like this. This guide is going to be on the solo method, so this is not going to include the mass worlds. I may do a separate guide on that, but this is specifically for the solo method where you will run the room by yourself, harvest points, and get some massive fire-making XP. Moving into the requirement side of things, you do need to have a minimum of 20 construction to fix the brazier, 50 fire making to access the minigame. The druidic ritual needs to be completed. That is a quest that has to be completed to unlock the herblore skill. You need that quest completed to make the concoctions that you will use for healing the pyromancers. And the last requirement, I would say, is a minimum of 10 fletching. It doesn't look like there's actually a requirement for fletching, however, because I fletch the logs in this method to kindling, having a higher level fletching is going to increase the XP per hour that you receive from this quest. It doesn't look like there's a hard requirement, but I do recommend having that level 10 plus fletching. On the gear side of things, all you need to have is a few pieces of warm clothing. The ideal number is 4, however, if you don't have 4, use what you have. I am going to link the wiki for warm clothing in the description, so you can head over there to see what counts as 4 warm clothing, and then get those, put them on your character. In my case, I'm wearing a Santa hat, some Yakhide armor, a fire cape, and a tome of fire, and then I've got my axe for my weapon. The only other piece of gear I would recommend if you're a high level is to have a Regen Bracelet. The Regen Bracelet is going to make it so that every time you heal 1 HP, you actually get 2 instead of 1. So over the course of the method that I'm about to show you, that is going to make a significant amount of health points come back. So I do recommend it if you're a higher level. If you're a low level, it's not going to matter. When I say higher and lower level, I am speaking specifically in terms of HP. If you have a high HP, you're going to take more damage from Wintertodt. If you have a low HP, you're going to take less damage from Wintertodt. I do know that Jagex has a poll out right now regarding the Wintertodt minigame, and they may actually be changing this so that it won't be hit point related anymore, but for now, this is what you need to know. How to get to the Wintertodt game. The easiest way to get here is going to be to use a game necklace teleport. However, you can also get here from the Lovacaine minecart network. You can also get here by teleporting to Fairy Ring CIS and running north. And lastly, you can get here from using the Arceus library teleport and again running north. If you are an Ironman and you don't have access to any of these teleports, as I do not in my account, the best bet is going to be to take a boat from Port Sarum and land over here at Port Piscarilius, and then run west and north all the way up to the Wintertodt. However, if you've got this teleport, this is going to be your fastest way here with the game's necklace. Now once you get here, there isn't much to think about in terms of the room. Basically, the room has 4 corners. You've got your northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest corners. In each one of these corners, there's going to be a brazier, a pyromancer, a tree, and the Wintertodt is going to be in the center. Now, the Wintertodt is what you're trying to kill. The braziers are going to be lit on fire. The pyromancers are going to use that to attack the Wintertodt to reduce its energy. When the energy gets from 100 to 0, the Wintertodt is dead. Now, in terms of the actual fight, you do need to watch out for Snowfall. There are a couple of ways you can be damaged from Snowfall. As well, you will be damaged from the Wintertodt itself. The Wintertodt is going to give you cold damage, so basically you're going to absorb cold damage from just being in the minigame, and then you can also be damaged from the Snowfall. The first form of damage from the Snowfall is going to be an AoE effect, where if you're running along any of these gray areas at any point, you can get hit from snow that just basically falls from the ceiling and hits your character. The way to get around that is to stand next to the edges where I've labeled on my minigame so that you cannot be hit by the Wintertodt. So if you stand next to the trees and you stand next to the walls, you cannot get hurt from the Wintertodt. The next form of snowfall damage that you need to watch out for is from the brazier. Now, the brazier can only damage you if the snowfall is large. If it's a small snowfall, it will only turn the brazier out. So it basically will put out the fire that the brazier has and make it die. If it's a large snowfall, it will hit the brazier, make it explode, and when it explodes, you'll be damaged if you are standing within one tile. As you can see on my minimap, I have the tiles marked so that you cannot be damaged if you are standing at least one tile away. So I do recommend if you see the big snowfall, you're going to take one step back, the brazier will explode, you fix the brazier, heal the pyromancer, and go back to the fight. On that note, the pyromancer can be damaged from small snowfall that will fall from the ceiling and hit the pyromancer, and also large snowfall that will fall and hit the brazier and then damage the brazier. When the brazier explodes, it will damage the pyromancer, and if you're standing within that one tile area, it will damage you as well. And that's pretty much it in terms of the damage. You're going to basically get damaged from the cold, you're going to get damaged from the snowfall, the pyromancer can be damaged from the snowfall, and you can both be damaged from the brazier exploding. Other than that, there isn't too much to worry about in this room. In terms of inventory, all you need to have is any form of axe, any form of tinderbox, any form of hammer, and a knife. You need the knife to fletch the logs, you need the tinderbox to burn the logs and light the brazier. You will need the hammer to fix the brazier when it gets broken, and you need an axe to cut the logs in the first place. So you need all four of those items. As well, you are going to need some food. I usually recommend bringing 10 to 12 food items with you into the fight. Now, the type of food that you're going to use is going to depend on your HP level. If you have high HP, you're going to need better food. Things like Saradomin brews, summer pies, and pineapple pizzas are going to be your best bet for this. If you have a lower level HP, you can get away with using things like cakes and other sort of baked goods that you can steal from Ardougne. This is especially effective for Ironmen that have low HP levels. If you're in the middle, you're going to need some variation of any of those forms of food. I do believe that the wiki has a list of the different types of foods that they recommend, so I can also link that as well in the description. So that should hopefully get you where you need to go. Now, once you're in the room, you do need to set it up. To set up a room, what you're going to do is grab a number of concoctions from the concoction crate, then run into the room and either go clockwise or counterclockwise, it does not matter. You're going to light all 4 braziers. During that pathway, as you run along, you're going to grab some of the herbs from the trees in the middle. You're going to get those herbs and mix the concoctions while you run around and light all 4 braziers. Once all 4 braziers are lit, you're going to leave them all lit as long as possible and try and get the Wintertodt down to about 20%. At this point, you're going to stay along the south side of the room and only keep those 2 southern braziers lit. Once you get the Wintertodt down to about 10%, you're going to ignore the other 3 braziers and focus on just one. Doesn't matter which corner, doesn't matter which brazier, but you're just going to use one. Then the goal is going to be to keep the Wintertodt energy between 5 and 10% while you farm your points. The maximum number of points you want to go for in the solo method is 13,500. Once you hit 13,500, you want to kill the Wintertodt, reset the room, and start again. The reason for this is you cannot get more crates than you can at 13,500 points. That's the maximum number of crates that you can get from the minigame, so going beyond this is pointless. Usually around 13,000, about 12,500, I focus on trying to actually kill the Wintertodt, and in the process of trying to kill the Wintertodt, you will get those remaining 500 to 1,000 points. So you don't want to get way above that number because it's a waste of time, but ideally if you can get to that, it's great. You do not have to get to 13,500 points. If you run out of food, you can end the minigame at any point. Just know that for every 500 points you get, you will get an additional crate. So if you're at, say 5,800, I recommend trying to get to 6,000 before you kill the Wintertodt, so you'll get that extra crate. So for every 500 points, you get a crate. 13,500 is the maximum amount of crates that you can get. So hopefully this has given you a little bit more info on the Wintertodt area. Keep in mind, if you are in Ironman, you can die from this minigame. It is not a safe minigame. If you die here and you're a hardcore Ironman, you will lose your hardcore status. So if you're going to die and you don't want to have to run back here and you don't want to lose your hardcore Ironman status, I do recommend running out of the room, resetting, getting more food, and trying again. This is not a safe death, so be careful. As always, if you have found this helpful, please click the like button. I recommend to subscribe to my channel to see all of the other guides that I am making, and I would really appreciate it if you could show some support. If you found this useful, if there's anything else you'd like to see, throw it in the comments and let me know what I can help you out with. I'm always here to help. I love letting people know about the game and helping them get some of these things done. So hopefully this has helped you on your Wintertodt grind. Hopefully you are more prepared to tackle the cold minigame ahead of you. Thanks for watching.